So, what do you do if, let me read this. So, I got a comment from Gigi, and she said, what do you do if a child has something to say about everything? If I say quiet down, she says we're not being loud. If I say tell me off the table, I say she's not on the table. It's cute, but by the end of the day, I'm exhausted dealing with her. I get it. My daughter is the same way. So they're very literal, very like if you say something, but it's not exactly what the words need to be and you mess up your words, they like get on you for it. It's obnoxious. And you want them to just understand what you're trying to say and just follow through with it without having to have that argument every single step of the way. So I think we gotta figure out, where is this coming from? What are they trying to communicate? So the types of things that kids, when they're doing this, are trying to communicate is, I want to be noticed, I want to play with you, and I want to be seen. And so how can we then, first of all, what I want to say is you're doing a great job. If a kid is giving you that pushback, they feel safe enough to give you that pushback, which is, I think, important. A lot of kids shut down in certain situations. So what am I trying to say here? So I got a comment from this user here. She said, what do you do if a child has something to say about everything you say? If I say quiet down, she says I'm not being loud. Get off the table. I'm not on the table. So kind of that sassy pushback for everything that you say. So this is really annoying to deal with. And my daughter is really the same way. So I get a lot of, my daughter is the same way. So I get a lot of that pushback where if I say, go tie your shoes, she's like, but they're not tied, they're Velcro. And what do I mean? You know what I mean. You don't have to be like so literal and then make me have to say exactly what I mean in the moment. You know what I mean. And that's really frustrating to deal with. These kids are very literal and have a stroke of, I guess you could call it defiance, where they just push back against authority at every point. So I have experience with my own daughter, with my own brain, and I've had other kids too in my classes that are like this, where they have a need for authority, a need for autonomy, and they don't like it when anybody gives them direct instruction. They push back against being told what to do. So with kids like this, the biggest thing that I have found that helps is to have a partnership with them, right? So the way I have a partnership is by, I have a script that I follow whenever I'm in a situation where I don't know what else to do and they're just not on my team. As I like come down, I sit with them and say, what is my job? And after a while, they get used to this question and they know what the answer is. But when you're first starting, you say, what is my job? Say, my job is to keep you safe. My biggest job above anything else is to keep you safe. And there are 4 things that I can do to keep you safe. The first thing I can do is I have listening ears, which means I listen to you. If you tell me, hey, Miss Celeste, can you move, please? You're in my way. I'll listen to you and I'll move. Or, Miss Celeste, watch out. You're going to slip and fall. There's a spot of water. I'll listen to you and I'll move so I don't slip. So my ears are always on, listening to you and everybody else around, so I can keep me and everybody else safe. And I'm doing this because I'm modeling what I expect from them by showing them that I'm doing it. So there's only 4 things that anybody in my class is required to do: listen, gentle hands, kind words, and walking feet. So that's listening ears, gentle hands. I also use gentle hands. So if I need a pencil and you have the pencil, I'll put my hand out and gently ask if you could give it to me, but I will never pull it from you because I don't want to scare you. Or if somebody's in my way, I'll tap them on the shoulder and use gentle hands. If somebody has a toy that I really need, I won't grab it. I'll keep it, I'll be gentle, and I won't push, I won't shove. I'm also going to make sure that I have kind words. So if somebody's upsetting me and I don't like it, I'll say, I don't really like that. Can you please talk nicer to me? Or if somebody is taking something I don't like, I'm not going to scream at them. I'm going to use kind words and say, I was using that. Please hand it back. And I will always make sure that I use kind words with you. So if you're doing something that I don't think is safe, I will use my voice to tell you, hey, this isn't safe. Come on down. Or so then you can use it in the specific example. So when I notice that you're on the table and your body's not safe, my kind words are going to let you know that what you're doing is not safe. I don't want you to fall. I don't want you to bump your head. I don't want you to get any boo-boos. My job's to keep you safe. If you fall, I'm not doing my job. So my voice is telling you, come on down so you're safe. I'm not going to pull you with my hands. My hands are gentle. I will never pull you. I will always listen to you too, okay? The last thing I do is I'm going to walk in the classroom. I'm not going to run around in here. It's not safe. If I want to run, I'll go outside to the playground. But the thing is, I can't do all those things by myself. That is too big of a job. There's 20 of you. I can't keep everybody safe all by myself. It's too much. I need your help. And you can do those 4 things too. It's just 4 things. It's super easy to remember. We listen to each other. We use gentle hands. We use kind words, and we walk when we're in our classroom. So, do you think when you're on the table, are you doing your job? And they might give you like a, I'm not. You're like, I agree, you're not doing your job. You're not listening, right? And because your ears aren't listening, your body is in a place that's not safe. So come on down. Let's make sure we're safe and we're a team. And then when it's like, if she's too loud or whatever, you can say, you know what? I noticed that the volume of your voice is a little loud and my listening ears are listening to everything, but the volume of your voice is making it so my ears are starting to hurt because they're listening to how loud that is and it's just too much. So lower your voice. Remember, we're in the classroom. You can have roller coaster noises, not on a roller coaster. You can have noises on the playground, but in here, you gotta keep it quieter so we're all listening and all of our ears can hear what's going on. Because if somebody tells me, hey, Miss Celeste, can you help me over here? I can't hear them because the volume of your voice is way too loud. Okay? My job's to keep it safe. You're not in trouble. You gotta just be safe. So when you have kids like this, establishing safety is the number one thing because they're not gonna wanna comply with what you're saying if they feel like you're just giving them a direction and you're giving them a demand. You see this a lot with kids with PDA, which is pathological demand avoidance, or it's sometimes diagnosed as oppositional defiance. My daughter definitely has it. I wouldn't say she's oppositionally defiant because that kind of labels her as being a bad kid. She definitely has a pathological demand for autonomy. She has to be in charge of her body and her space at all times. And she shuts down when I try to step into that role. So I do find a lot of success when you have these conversations with the kids and it's collaborative and we are a team. We're doing this together and I'm going to do things to keep it safe and you have the responsibility to keep it safe too. So something that I like to do, so I hope that helps. And so I hope that this helped reframe it a little bit because when you're a teacher, honestly, the biggest thing as a teacher is your sense of chill. If you're in there and you're yelling and screaming and going cuckoo, the kids are going to respond to that and you're going to lose control. You're going to lose composure. You're going to burn out so fast because you can't stay in that elevated state for that long with so many other kids feeding back into you. It's too much and you burn out. So we're going to develop some tools to keep the adults' energy chill so that we don't burn out. And we give tools and structure to the classroom so that we don't have to keep putting out fires because we've put systems in place so that we don't have to keep putting out the fires over and over. They just don't start anymore. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm kind of thinking about starting a podcast at some point. I'd love some feedback to see if you guys are interested in that type of content. Please let me know. Thank you.